This is a update on the blue and red Kachina dealing with the Hopi prophecy of the Great Purification. Hello everyone. You're going to find this a very, very interesting video. And I have multiple photos. I would like to thank Elizabeth from Houston. She's been on this channel for a number of years. God bless you, sister. Thank you for bringing me to that attention. So from what I understand, the information I received, that I made a statement, the information I received from a very reliable source, that we will witness the Blue Kachina in November or December of this year. And it just happens, it came in early. Maybe this is what we've been waiting for. I'm going to let you decide, okay? But I want to say thank you, sister, again. So is it possible they came in early? Should I say them? The reason I'm saying them two different times is because I truly believe it's related to Comet Atlas that broke up. But not everyone saw this. No, I didn't see it. And from all of my research that I came up with and have done over the years, the Blue Kachina will appear. But it didn't say everyone in the Northern Hemisphere will witness it. When its brother appears, the red Kachina, the Great Destroyer, Planet of the Crossing, Nibiru, Planet X, the Great Dragon. A lot of people don't know that the Chinese saw it back in the day of Noah and thought it was a dragon. And so when you look at all of this, it's really amazing. So basically, what I understand is, I'm going to give it to you again so everyone don't get confused. The Blue Kachina will appear in November or December of this year. It came in early. From what I understand, not everyone will witness the Blue Kachina. At one time, I thought that was true. Everyone will witness it, and that is not true. But what I did find out was the Red Kachina is going to be totally different. So we're going to start this video with part of the original of the Blue Kachina, Red Kachina, and the Hopi prophecy related to the Great Purification. So let's get started. This video may overrun a little bit. It's going to be a lot of information in it. So here we go. So much is going on. I received information approximately 2 weeks ago, and I made a statement that scientists and geologists was meeting at the Pentagon, and they are discussing about the New Madrid fault line that they're very concerned about. Also California, a large earthquake that will take place, and they was very concerned about that as well. A 9.5 or higher off the coast of Japan, and the volcanic activity that is starting to take place underwater in the Mediterranean Sea. They are very concerned because there's 3 to 4 to 5 different volcanoes that is preparing to erupt, and they are very concerned about that. But what was strange was the information I received about a week and a half ago after the meeting, the very last day of this presentation at the Defense Department, the Pentagon. Would you believe that they was discussing and going over the prophecy, dealing with the Hopi prophecy of the Great Purification, which begins with the Blue Kachina appearing in the northern sky, and then soon after that, the Red Kachina will appear, which its brother, and it will be Well, it would bring in a great disaster upon the earth, and it's called the Great Destroyer. Before this prophecy takes place, there's a prophecy of the white buffalo. And some of you are already familiar with that prophecy. Back in 1994, the first white buffalo appeared, and since then there have been a number of them. They are increasing, and according to the white buffalo prophecy, when the white buffalo is multiplying in white, the blue Kachina will appear. So we're going to listen to a elder looking horse. We're going to listen to him. He's going to go into detail about the white buffalo prophecy. And it's basically about going into the Hopi prophecy of the Great Purification. Now, both of these prophecies is a metaphor, okay? Don't take them literally. They are a metaphor. The literally part is the blue Kachina, the red Kachina, and the white buffaloes that are appearing, along with other animals. They are increasing now. Deer, squirrels, other animals are starting to change color, and this is very abnormal. And what they are talking about, when we start to witness these animals changing color into a albino type color, white, that we will be on the edge of the Hopi prophecy of the Great Purification. And if you're not familiar with that prophecy, well, I was not as well until I received a vision back in 2012 when I was standing on top of my stairs looking into my living room, and I saw 5 feet of water, and I heard a loud voice spoke to me that said, "You need to prepare to leave now. You need to leave now." And it shocked me. It actually scared me, and it put goosebumps on my arms. My hair stood up on my arms, and it was a very thorough voice. And I knew it was a warning from the spiritual realm. And many people said, well, it could be your ancestors. And I agreed. And then one person said, have you ever thought for a moment that that was Yeshua, Jesus Christ? And I said, no, but it could have been. So within 3 months later, I was guided here to the land of enchantment here in New Mexico at 7,500 feet. And I heard the voice again, but it was a different voice this time. When I walked onto the land, the real estate woman, Nelda Ray, was approximately 40 feet in front of me, and my wife at the time was 20 feet in front of me. And as I'm walking and looking how beautiful the land is, and Nelda Ray said that she wanted to show us $1 million view. And as we're walking, and remember my wife at the time was 20 feet in front of me, and I heard this voice. It was different, and it said, "We are here. This is the place for you." And my wife turned around at the time, and she came back and she said, "Jim, the land spoke to me." And I said, "Really? What did it say?" She said, "We are here." And I said, "Is that it?" And she said, "Yes." Well, I didn't tell her the other part. 3 years later, she ended up in Florida. So it wasn't the place for her. Maybe it's a place for someone else. Maybe a spiritual-minded woman is meant to be here. I don't know. I can't tell you that. I know I came into this world alone, and I'm prepared to leave this world alone. When I got here, I met some friends and I asked them, what led you here? And she said that we wanted a safe place and we didn't know where to go. And they took the crystal out, put it on a string, and it moved over a map, an atlas map, and it landed in this location. And they got another map because it didn't show any town, and it was Pie Town. And then they found the location exactly after they blew it up, and they lived here. That was my brother Tony. Some of you may remember the video about the lone wolf. And they have a beautiful female wolf, and we became friends. And I told him, both of them, Joan and Tony, you know, it's something strange and wonderful about where I live. People come to visit. They don't want to leave. It's very peaceful and beautiful. And Joan said, you don't know, do you? And I said, no, know what? And she said, you are inside what is called the Go-Bean, that's capital G-O, capital B-E-A-N, vortex. And I said, well, I didn't know about that. And she said, let me show you Earth Change's map. And I said, okay. And she showed me the map, and it was similar to Edgar Cayce's map. And what's very interesting, the woman that made that map and had a vision, she lives in Sedona inside the Go-Bean vortex. And back in the day when I got home from school, I always flipped through the news channels. I don't know why, CBS, ABC, NBC. And they had a segment on the news towards the end about there was approximately 7 to 8 people, I can't remember the number exactly, and they were spread throughout the United States, and they had this vision of a map that was similar to Edgar Cayce's map. And you have to remember, back then they didn't have the internet. Very few people knew about Edgar Cayce's map, which is the United States Navy map about changes dealing with a magnetic reversal. And so psychologists got together and said, I have this person, I have this person, I have this person. They don't know each other. They're all having these visions. I believe it was approximately 10 of them. I don't remember. Don't hold me to that. And then they showed the map, and it was identical for what Tony and Joan was showing me. And she said it deals with the Hopi prophecy of the Great Purification. And I said, wow, that's very interesting. And she said there's 5 vortexes. The main one's here in New Mexico. The other one is north, the southern part of Idaho. The third is outside of Colorado on the eastern side. And the fourth is around Illinois, the southern part of Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky. And the last one is at the area of Georgia. And would you believe the Georgia Guidestone is right on the edge of it, and that's where the water stops. So I did some research and I found out that the Hopi prophecy of the Great Purification is in alignment with the Go-Bean vortex, and that vortex means harmony, peace, understanding, transformation, and safe location. That's what it means. All 5 of these vortexes have different characteristics, different terms, and each one of them is different. So that's when I changed the name of the channel. It was One Living Free, and it changed to Earth Changes channel. So back to the prophecy, it states that in the final days of the Great Purification, the blue Kachina will appear in the north, and shortly after that, its brother, the red Kachina, will appear, the Great Destroyer. And in the final stages of the Great Purification, which deals with water, the Great Purifier, that certain souls will be guided to these safe locations. They will be very significant souls because they will help the generation go from the fourth world into the fifth world. And the fourth world has nothing to do with dimensions. Okay, we're in the third dimension. The fourth world means this planet and the civilizations has went through 4 times. This is the 4th time. It has been through 3 times of a disaster that almost wiped out the civilization. We are in the 4th world. And it's very important that we succeed into the 5th world. Now remember, this has nothing to do with dimensions. Okay? From what I understand as a ufologist, billions of civilizations have failed going into the 4th dimension because the 3rd dimension is a stepping stone into the 4th, and many do not make it. They destroy themselves and they destroy the planet. And this is what the Hopi prophecy of the Great Purification is about. We're going to be looking at the Petzagrits, where it talks about the 4th world, and that civilization has to make a decision based on free will. If we go to the left and follow technology, we will be separated from Mother Earth and Father Sky and the Great Spirit. If we go to the right and connect to Mother Earth and Father Sky and the Great Spirit and live harmony and peace with nature and have respect for Mother Earth, then we will continue into the 4th world. Certain souls will survive according to the Hopi prophecy of the Great Purification. Many will not. It also talks about how there will be many humans, containers, that will be walking around soulless. Their soul will be gone. And this, from what I understand, deals with transhumanism, taking the chip. And the soul will be spiritually teleported out. It will go back to the grandfather, the great source of the universe, and that container will be 23 grams lighter. Also, it talked about dimensions will be opened up. In this process, we know what's happening with the super collider and what they're doing. So it's very interesting because this lines up perfectly. And the information I received last week, I believe I did release some of it on the premiere, and I'm going to go over it with you again here now. It came from a very reliable source, and the Blue Kachina will appear sometime in November or December in 2022. And as I stated, the Red Kachina will appear approximately in the springtime of 2023. So I was amazed that I received that information because it is exactly with the timelines that I have already projected and what I feel is to come related to the magnetic reversal process and the planetary system that comes in every 3,657 years. We're at 3,653.5. September, it'll be 54. And that means 22, 23, 24. Approximate. So we're going to go through a few videos. We're going to listen to an elder talking about the white buffalo prophecy so you can understand that, because that's a prelude to the blue Kachina and the red Kachina and what is going to happen through this time period and these timelines. Now, when he's talking about global warming and climate change, that has to do with a 26,000 year cycle that began January the 1st when we went into the age of Aquarius. I tell people the last week of December 2012 or the 30th first, but basically it was January the 1st, 2013. The second video we will be listening to an individual that's going to give you the prophecy, and please pay attention. I will have the links to these videos. All of the links to these videos will be in the description box, and I suggest you do your own homework and understand these timelines. Now, what's interesting about all of this, it lines up almost perfectly with the September 23rd, 2017, the beginning of the 7-year tribulations. So it's identical almost. The Bible is more detailed on this subject. The Hopi prophecy is a metaphor. In the prophecy, it also talks about our ancestors. It also talks about space brothers coming from, throughout the universe, the Milky Way galaxy. And try to understand, ladies and gentlemen, please listen to me on this part. You have approximately 750 billion civilizations out there, whether you like it or not. Be open-minded to this whole video. Because if you're not going to get it. You're not going to get the prophecy, and you can go ahead and continue your path and see what happens when your reality changes. Some of the extraterrestrials out there that are positive, some are negative. The ones that have a soul, they are positive, and some that have a soul is negative. Reminds me of humans, doesn't it? And then some that don't have a soul, they're positive, and some that don't have a soul is negative. So you can take it for whatever you want. Okay? I don't want to get criticized over this one. This is going to be controversial. Also, if you know anything about the Hopis, they say they are the children from the stars. Okay. Well, I'm a child from the stars. The Heavenly Father created the vast universe, and I belong to the Heavenly Father, the Great Source, what the Hopis call Grandfather, the Great Spirit, the Holy Spirit, Mother Earth, Father Sky, living in harmony, peace, and understanding, and going through transformations. That's the problem. That people are not going through the transformations. They're all caught up in making money. That's all they care about is making money. They don't care about the environment, what they're destroying. They're just selfish individuals. And this purification process is a separation of those souls that don't belong here anymore. Also, the children are protected. They are innocent. Elder Looking Horse, he talks about that. And another elder that we're going to listen to, he talks about that as well. That the children, that when the time comes and the children are being neglected or abused, it's going to happen. And we're seeing that now with the children being sold into human trafficking. So the great purifier is coming, and it deals with the red Kachina. And as I stated, according to them, and from what I understand and believe, for tens of thousands of research, certain souls that a mature soul will be protected and be spiritual teleported out of this dimension before the great persecution begins. And so will the children, regardless of their religious belief. The children are innocent, and Grandfather, the Heavenly Father, the great source of this universe, is going to take care of them. So let's go forward, and listen to Elder Looking Horse. Shall we? Thank you.
My name is Arvol Looking Horse. I'm Chief Arvol Looking Horse from Lakota Sioux Nation, and we're here on my reservation, the Cheyenne River Reservation in South Dakota. This is where the bundle has been for the last 100 years. I'm the keeper of the sacred pipe, 19th generation keeper of the sacred pipe. I was 12 years old when I received that bundle. We have a message for the world. We have many prophecies that goes with the white animals showing the sacred color, because that's the only way they can speak to us. When he told me that someday this white buffalo calf would stand upon the earth, since 1994, almost every year a white buffalo calf stood upon the earth. And she told the people that this is a blessing, but it's a warning. She said when the white animal shows in the sacred color, there's going to be some great changes. Earth changes, climate changes. And now we're in those changes. And the story of the bundle was that during that time, there was no buffalo. All the animals disappeared, all the buffalo disappeared. And the people says a great teaching has come among the people when they disrespect the way of life. And the Creator, Makankanka, said, told the people, you're going to live a way of life and follow the buffalo and respect a way of life. But because that we're human beings, that the people, they abuse that life, a way of life, and that's when all the animals and the buffalo disappeared. So the story is that there's two scouts, and they were looking for animals or buffalo, mainly buffalo at the time. And then when they're sitting on top of the hill, they saw from the far away distant a person coming. And this person came upon him was a woman with long black hair and buckskin dress and carrying a bundle, buffalo robe. And she came to them and said, I know what both of your thinking. One is good thoughts and one with the bad thoughts. She told the one with the bad thoughts, come to me. And when he approached her, a cloud enveloped him, the clouds lifted, he was in skeleton. His kola, his friend, was looking at him, and he was in shock to see that. And she said, tomorrow I will bring this bundle to the people. Go prepare. So he went back and told what happened. And the next day she brought the bundle, the sacred pipe. And she was singing as she came to the people, and she laid a bundle down. She opened this buffalo robe, and there's a red stone and a stem. And she put it together, and then she started singing the Four Directions song. To the west, then she sang to the grandfathers to the north, east, south, the Great Spirit and Mother Earth. And then she put tobacco in there every time. And she left that pipe was put together and said, Sean Oompa, Sean is wood and Oompa is smoke. She put it to the first keeper would be his lips and said, Oompa, smoke. And said through this Chanupa, there's 7 ceremonies. And then she told him more about the Chanupa, then she left. Then when she left, she went to the west, and she went so far, and she rolled over and she stood up, and she became a young black buffalo. The second was a red one. The third one's a yellow one. And the fourth one is a white one. So she went over the hill as a white buffalo calf. So the people watching her, they said that we would call her the white buffalo calf woman. And the story is that next time she told the people, next time she returns, she would stand on the earth as a white buffalo calf. Not this white buffalo calf. And what happened was, this story has been so many generations that, I never, when he told me that someday this white buffalo calf would stand upon the earth, not my generation, but since 1994, almost every year a white buffalo calf stood upon the earth. And she told the people that this is a blessing, but it's a warning. And said when the white animal showed in the sacred color, there's going to be some great changes. Earth changes, climate changes. And what is happening in the world today with global warming, and we can't like me or a group of people, a handful of people can't really, it's got to be global. That's why when we talk about global warming, or we talk about, it's got to be a spiritual unity in the world today, where people, if we're going to, these prophecies are there, the white buffalo, white animals, and the eagle and the condor, and there's so many prophecies, even like in the Bible, or there are different people talk about different things about these prophecies during this time right now. But it's going to take all people to really come together, with the heart, with the mind, good heart and good mind. Because in the past, it seemed like my way is the only way, and we're not. For me, I can't say no. I want everybody to be pick up a pipe. No, we're not. I'm not here to speak about that. No, I'm pushing that responsibility to people, the people in general, because we all love our kids, and we all have the gift of compassion and the gift of responsibility, equal responsibility. In order for this earth to survive, it's got to be peace and harmony. That's that balance that we have to create. Right now, it's not happening. So that's the message that I strongly have input on, is that we are going to create this. We're going to make history. This new millennium, we're going to make a change. And for the benefit for our children, because our children are beautiful, our grandchildren are beautiful, but we as leaders today, we need to connect. We need to help each other. There's no in that circle. There's no one person higher than the other. No, we need to. Doesn't matter what part of the world that you're in. We're all being affected. Globally, and that's why I really try to walk in prayer to help people understand that this is, what we're up against is it's got to be a spiritual unity.
Well, there you have it from a wonderful gentleman, Chief Looking Horse. And now we're going to listen to Chief Owen Lyons. Both of these are wonderful gentlemen, and they're just basically trying to help people understand how important it is for the times that we're living in. Also, he touches on the jet streams. He makes a statement that they was told, when you see the wind increase, this is the beginning of a downhill slide. And here on the land, I've experienced 30 to 40, even 50 mile an hour gusts that lasted for 2 or 3 days, and then it comes back 30, 40 mile an hour. So the jet stream is very inadequate. It is totally out of whack, as you can see here in what was recorded today dealing with the jet streams. This is the beginning of a downward slide. And he also touches on the children. When the civilization is neglecting, abusing the children, this is the beginning of a great destruction. I was the Chief Executive Officer of the Board of Administration for the International Children's Foundation based out of Bolivia, South America. And South America, as well as Africa, certain part of Asia, approximately 260 to 290,000 children were abandoned every day. 160 to 190,000 will end up into human trafficking, the selling of children. It is horrible, ladies and gentlemen. To sell children as a commodity, this is a beginning of something that is going to devastate the reality of everyone on this planet. We can no longer do this. It has been going back since the beginning of the human civilization to abuse physically, mentally, and sexually abuse children. And it has to stop. And it's not going to stop. But it will when the great purification process takes place. It will. All of the darkness upon this earth will come to a stop, ladies and gentlemen. So let's listen to Chief Owen Lyons. It's just a brief clip, and I will have the whole clip in the description box, and then we will continue to the understanding of the Blue Kachina and the Red Kachina, the Great Destroyer.
We began this conversation with a historical perspective, but also with the understanding where we are in this contemporary times. We're in a very, very serious situation. And we're sending out an alarm. We're sending out an alert. We were told that when this whole earth begins to deteriorate, there's going to be certain signals that will alert you to the degradation. And the first one was the acceleration of the winds. They said, watch the winds. When the winds start to accelerate, you're in a downgrade. And they said, and how people treat their children. Watch how people treat their children. When they abuse and misuse the children, you're in a downgrade. You don't have to go far to see. So 7 billion people, soon to be 8, soon to be 9, and we're caught in nature's law of compound. In 1950, 2.5 billion people in the world. That's 64 years ago. And today, 64 years later, we have 7 billion people. That's a problem. That's a compound action that you're not controlling.
I believed he said it like it is. It is a compound action that we're not controlling. It seems like everyone is for themselves. No one cares. Only a few people understand the devastation from Fukushima and what's happening to the sea life, the whales, the dolphins. There's no more plankton. They're starving to death. And when they do the autopsy, you know what they find, don't you? Plastic in their digesting system. And then today, every single day between 120 to 140,000 people will die from starvation and dehydration, and there's no need in that. The United Nutcases, what do you call them? The UN, they're doing exactly nothing to stop the devastation in Africa and other parts of the world, dealing with water, food, starvation, and dehydration. They're doing nothing. With all of the so-called technology, they could change all of this, ladies and gentlemen, all of it. And it's truly sad. But I believe the great purification is on the horizon, dealing with the blue Kachina that's going to appear sometime in November, December of 2022. So let's continue. We're going to listen to in detail. Now remember, the Hopi prophecy of the great purification is not written down. It's handed down from generations to generations. So let's listen to this gentleman so you will understand the Hopi prophecy of the great purification.
The Story of the Blue Kachina and the Red Kachina by Chief Dan Evahema, the Hopi traditional caretaker. It was told to me that first the Blue Kachina would start to be seen at the dances and would make his appearance known to children in the plaza during the night dance. This event would tell us that end times are very near. Then, the Blue Star Kachina would physically appear in our heavens, which would mean that we were in the end times. In the final days, we will look up in our heavens and we will witness the return of the two brothers who helped create the world in the birthing time. Poganghoya is the guardian of our North Pole, and his brother, Palongawhoya, is the guardian of the South Pole. In the final days, the Blue Star Kachina will come to be with his nephews, and they will return the Earth to its natural rotation, which is counter-clockwise. This fact is evidenced in many petroglyphs that speak of the zodiac, and within the Mayan and Egyptian pyramids. The rotationing Earth has been manipulated by not-so-benevolent star beings. The twins will be seen in our northwestern skies. They will come and visit to see who still remembered the original teachings, flying in their putovox, or flying shields. They will bring many of their star family with them in the final days. The return of the Blue Star Kachina, who is also known as Nangag Sohu, will be the alarm clock that tells us of the new day and the new way of life, a new world that is coming. This is where the changes will begin. They will start as fires that burn within us, and we will burn up with desires and conflict if we do not remember the original teachings and return to the peaceful way of life. Not far behind the twins will come the purifier, the Red Star Kachina, who will bring the day of purification. On this day, the earth, her creatures, and all life as we know it will change forever. There will be messengers that will precede this coming of the purifier. They will leave messages to those on earth who remember the old ways. The messages will be found written in the living stone, through the sacred grains, and even the waters. From the purifier will issue forth a great red light. All things will change in their manner of being. Every living thing will be offered the opportunity to change from the largest to the smallest thing. Those who return to the ways given to us in the original teachings and live a natural way of life will not be touched by the coming of the purifier. They will survive and build the new world. Only in the ancient teachings will the ability to understand the message be found. It is important to understand that these messages will be found upon every living thing, even within our bodies, even within a drop of our blood. All life forms will receive this message from the twins, those that fly, the plants, even the rabbit. The appearance of the twins begins a period of 7 years, which will be our final opportunity to change our ways. Everything we experience is all a matter of choice. Many will appear to have lost their souls in these final days. So intense will be the nature of the changes that those who are weak in spiritual awareness will go insane. For we are nothing without spirit. They will disappear, for they are just hollow vessels for anything to use. Life will be so bad in the cities that many will choose to leave this plane, some in whole groups. Only those who return to the values of the old ways will be able to find peace of mind. For in the earth we shall find relief from the madness that will be all around us. It will be a very hard time for women with children, for they will be shunned, and many of the children in these times will be unnatural. Some being from the stars, some from the past worlds, some will even be created by man in an unnatural manner, and will be soulless. Many of the people in this time will be empty in spirit. They will have sampaku, no life force in their eyes. As we get close to the time of the arrival of the purifier, there will be those who walk as ghosts through the cities, through canyons they will have constructed in their man-made mountains. Those that walk through these places will be very heavy in their walk. It will appear almost painful as they take each step, for they will be disconnected from the spirit and the earth. After the arrival of the twins, they will begin to vanish before our eyes like so much smoke. Others will have great deformities, both in the mind and upon their bodies. There will be those who would walk in the body that are not from this reality, for many of the gateways that once protected us will be opened. There will be much confusion between sexes and children and their elders. Life will get very perverted, and there will be little social order in these times. Many will ask for the mountains themselves to fall upon them just to end the misery. Still others will appear as if untouched by what is occurring. The ones who remember the original teachings and have reconnected their heart and spirit. Those who remember who their mother and father is. The Pahana, who have left to live in the mountains and forest. When the purifier comes, we will see him first as a small red star, which will come very close and sit in our heavens watching us to see how well we have remembered the sacred teachings. This purifier will show us many miraculous signs in our heavens. In this way, we will know Creator is not a dream. Even those who do not feel their connection to the Spirit will see the face of Creator across the sky. Things unseen will be felt very strongly. Many things will begin to occur that will not make sense, for reality will be shifting back in and out of the dream state. There will be many doorways to the lower world that will open at this time. Things long forgotten will come back to remind us of our past creations. All living things will want to be present for this day when time ends, and we will enter the forever cycle of the fifth world. We will receive many warnings allowing us to change our ways from below the earth as well as above. Then one morning, in a moment, we will awaken to the red dawn. The sky will be the color of blood. Many things will then begin to happen that right now we are not sure of their exact nature, for much of reality will not be as it is now. There will be many strange beasts upon the earth in those days, some from the past and some we have never seen. The nature of mankind will appear strange in these times when we walk between worlds, and we will house many spirits, even within our bodies. After a time, we will again walk with our brothers from the stars and rebuild this earth, but not until the purifier has left his mark upon the universe. No living thing will go untouched, here or in the heavens. The way through this time, it is said, is to be found in our hearts, and reuniting with our spiritual self, getting simple and returning to living with and upon the earth and in harmony with her creatures, remembering that we are the caretakers, the firekeepers of the spirit. Our relatives from the stars are coming home to see how well we have fared on our journey.
It's very interesting. I've always enjoyed prophecies, whether it's biblical perspective or the Native Americans. My grandmother was full-blooded Cherokee, and I was guided here to New Mexico, and I'm very grateful. A safe location, dealing with harmony, peace, transformation, and understanding. And I have changed over the years. I have changed approximately 5 times. It's nature. Nature can change you if you are willing to invest the time and the energy to reach out and find yourself. The truth, what you're searching for, is inside of you. It's not inside of me, it's inside of you. I hope you find it. I hope you receive it. This next clip is going to look at different atlas comets, should I say. Now, there's approximately 3. Some researchers believe there's 4. And, years ago it was only 1, but something is going on. And from what I understand, the comet Atlas, about 2 to 3 years ago, something happened. It created a debris field, and it's about 30 large rocks that is related to the comet. And remember, a comet gas composition is basically frozen gases, and each comet is different. And when the interruption of the comet, something could hit it, it could be hit by a rock, or it's disintegrating and it's losing its strength, then that's what causes the colors to change from white to green, blue. There's many different colors, and it's about the composition. And then when it breaks up, similar to Greenland, you remember that movie? If not, I suggest you watch it. Okay? It was about a comet that broke up, and the debris field hit the earth and almost destroyed the earth. But let's listen to this next video clip. The individual keeps up with Atlas more than I do. I have too much going on. But let's see what he has to say, and I will make a brief comment at the end.
Hello, my name is Data. Welcome back. Hope you're doing well. Facts and questions, that's what this channel is all about. And today's question is, what is going on here? Here's some information on Atlas and where's it from. If you want to pause, you can read that. What is going on here? Here's an image from Hubble. If Hubble has turned its eye to this, what is going on here? And somebody needs to explain what the 3 is in the corner. Is that the scale of something? What is that the scale of? Degrees? Miles? Astronomical units? I'm not quite sure. I've been looking and typing into the search engine for any information, and all it comes up as it's disintegrating, it's fragmented, story over, good night, Irene, we'll see you later. That is the information I'm getting. But I have another picture of a fragmented comet, C19Y4 Atlas. That is one of the recent images that has come across the interwebs, and today's information is the distance in kilometers is 142 million, roughly, kilometers away. Distance AU 0.949, light travel time 7 minutes and 54 seconds. Alright, this is what I'm going to look at. This is the magnitude. That'll be the 4th column down. On April 28th, it was projected that the magnitude is 7.23, but they're telling me that this comet is fragmented. So, a couple days later, April 29th, the magnitude is now at 7.01 estimated, but this comet is said to be fragmented. So why is it getting brighter? What the heck is going on here? Today, I've picked up this image for May 2nd. The magnitude is estimated at 6.30. Why is it getting brighter? The lower the number, a 1 is brighter than a 10. Now I have this light chart of the estimation, and it is going into the negatives. I don't understand why it's going into the negatives. I thought it was fragmented and story over. So what is going on here? Somebody please explain. We must have some kind of geniuses, rogue astronomers that are willing to participate and drop some answers down in the comments. Why is it getting brighter, and why did it go into the negatives? At this point I'm thinking the only thing that could make this worse is if there was a second comet approaching. Oh wait, what's this? C29K8 Atlas. Why is there a K8? We've been studying and researching the Y4. That is the big one they've been talking about. Now there's a K8. This is the only information I was able to find on K8. Thanks to an image from Against the Grain YouTube channel. I'll drop a link down in the description. You can see Atlas Y4. The tail is pointing away from us. It looks like it's in a Y shape. And there listed in the top left is Atlas K8. So now that I know I have 2 comets coming at me, what could possibly make this worse? Oh wait, what's this? There is a swan. It also has a designation C2020F8. And on this trajectory map, they seem to be intersecting somewhere between the Sun and Mercury. And why, as they approach closer, is there a bullseye where they are supposed to meet? This could be much more significant than I can possibly imagine. Here's a different trajectory map of their intersection lines. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to drop some images of Atlas Y4 if you haven't seen them before, and maybe we can find some rogue astronomers, some experts that are willing to drop some answers down in the comments. What is going on? Why are there 2, 3, maybe even 4, I don't know, comets headed in our direction? And why is this particular Atlas such a huge gas cloud? It's green. That cannot be a good sign. I hear green is a dangerous gas. Alright, that'll do it. We'll see you in the next video. Want you to have a great night. Stay safe out there.
Before I comment at the end, I want to show you this illustration. This is Jupiter's orbit dealing with the Trojans that was interrupted approximately 5 months ago. And the article that I released on Deep Truth, Deep Impact talked about a comet that came in. It was 2015 BZ 509. And then they changed it. They changed it to a rock that came in, and it hit the debris field 3 to 4 times before it exited out of the orbit of Jupiter. And then if you watch the movie Greenland, it talks about it. I believe it's predicting programming. So what I would like to express to you to end this video is the final piece of the puzzle has been solved. I have been waiting on the Blue Kachina for a number of years, and it has not appeared. And then from my sources told me that it could appear November, December of 2022. And then I made a statement, by the spring of 2023, we will witness the Red Kachina, the Great Destroyer. So the final piece of the puzzle is here now, ladies and gentlemen. And I hope this presentation gave you a better insight on the Hopi prophecy of the Great Purification, also the prophecy of the White Buffalo. So we're going to be looking at some video footage and photos from Mr. MBB333 from his subscribers. A lot of good information and videos over there. So the first one that we're going to look at, Iceland, 66 north latitude. That occurred in October. But there was another one from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And that's about the 30-degree latitude. Joshua from Baton Rouge on the 9th, back in September. But you can see the object right there. Now, he may have put a filter on the lens. I believe he did. Maybe. I can't confirm that. But you can see it's coming in at 3 o'clock. Horizontal. Keep that in mind. The one in Iceland was totally different. It came in back in October. But look at the colors. It's kind of a sandy yellow or orange. I believe this was shot with no filter. And look at the angle, 12 o'clock position. Vertical. The other one is horizontal that we're going to look at. But it is an object. But it's not blue, is it? And you remember Comet Atlas broke up into 3 different pieces. And it had a bluish green tint to it. That's at the 12 o'clock position. Now this is enhanced. Mr. MBB enhanced it. He did not change the position. And it's a reddish color now. But it is something there. Definitely. So now we're going to look and do a comparison. These are images from North Iceland back in October. And as you can see, it's in the 12 o'clock position. Looking south, North Iceland, about the 66 north latitude. But you can see there is something there. And this occurred right here inside the Arctic Circle. Interesting. but you can see it right there, and it's vertical, from 12 o'clock to 6 o'clock. So now let's look at some more photos, a comparison of both of these objects. This one is enhanced, and notice the reddish color, vertical. Now we know it's not red. The original color was not red. This is enhanced. It was kind of a sandy color, the same color as the sun. But you can clearly see, ladies and gentlemen, there is an object there. Now, what he did, he took the image on the left from Iceland in the 12 o'clock position and the one in Baton Rouge that occurred back in September. That was at the 3 o'clock, and he turned them both up in the same angle to give us a better perspective. So I believe it's possible that the one that was recorded in Baton Rouge could have had a filter on it. I can't prove that. But the one in Iceland apparently did not. I'd like to read your comments. I'm open to any suggestions. But there is something there, 2 different dates, September and October, and I was told I was told the object of the blue Kachina would appear in November or December, so it's possible it came in early. The one on the left shows it at 3 o'clock, horizontal, 12 o'clock, vertical, 12 to 6. So something did occur, and you can see it right there. You can see the circumference, and you can see the circumference on this one. And they're both the same image. One is blown up, and he just basically changed and turned it up to a different angle. But right there is an excellent shot. But I'm going to show you one I believe is the best. So let's look at this object here. I believe this is the best image. But you can see it, ladies and gentlemen. Something is there. Could it be the blue Kachina? It's highly possible. It's horizontal. One more time. But the evidence is there. Something did occur. And these are the only photos that I came up with. I haven't had time to do any research from other photographers or channels. Maybe it was just in a brief moment for the month of September and October. But now we're going to change. If it's true, which I believe it's possible, it could have been true, then that means its great brother, the great destroyer, is coming. And I was told it would appear sometime in February, the ending of February and the beginning of March. And as you know, April is the 40-degree mark with the magnetic north, and this lines up perfectly. I believe this is a precursor to wormwood, a biblical perspective from the book of Revelations. Every mountain and island will be moved off its place. That's in Revelations 2. And from what I understand, from my interpretation and my research, I believe that's crust displacement. And if you're not familiar, check out part 1 and part 2, the understanding of the magnetic reversal process. But I hope you all enjoyed this video. It took a long time to put it together. I made a few mistakes on the audio. I'm not perfect, and neither are you. I would not worry about these events, what's happening, including wars and rumors of war. I'll live my day one at a time. That's what Christ said. We are not promised tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, and we have so much against us. We're on this little bitty tiny rock in the Milky Way galaxy, surrounded by 500 trillion galaxies. Amazing. And Christ said, in the last days, I will send you some signs from the stars, the moon, and the sun. And it's happening. The Heavenly Father, His Son, is returning, ladies and gentlemen. The prophecies are before us all, and I believe that we are on the edge of going home. But I love you all. Be safe out there, everyone, and I hope you enjoyed this presentation. Much love with many blessings, and please continue in prayer and be strong. And God bless always.